Hi, everyone. This is Jim with JP Reacts, where you come to see and learn more about what politicians are actually talking about when they make statements online and in person. So today we're going to listen to the Democratic weekly address by Senator Tom Udall from New Mexico. This is going to be a slightly different format. I'm not sure. You could probably tell from the way it's looking. So hopefully if you enjoy this, you can like this video, subscribe to the channel, and make some comments below about what you want to see next. But if you're interested in hearing more from Senator Udall, stay tuned after this. Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. Let's see what the good senator has to say first.
Hello, Tom Udall here. I represent New Mexico in the United States Senate, and I'm the Vice Chairman of the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs. This is my final term here in the Senate, and I'm certainly not retiring, and I intend to continue my public service. But I will be saying goodbye to the halls of Congress. It has been my honor and the honor of my lifetime to serve the people of New Mexico, fighting to protect our lands and waters, stand up for our communities, work with Indian country, and reform our democracy so it answers to the people. But right now, the Republican Senate just isn't answering to the needs of the people. The COVID-19 pandemic has taken the lives of more than 270,000 Americans. It's left millions of Americans out of work, struggling to put food on the table, businesses are shutting down, and hospitals are overflowing. Right now, Americans are living through the worst stretch of this crisis. But for months, Senate Republican leaders have refused to come to the table to negotiate the urgent emergency relief that is so desperately needed.
Well, Senator Udall has been in the Senate for quite a while. Hopefully this isn't the last time we see him. He's been a fairly good senator, and just trying to see how long he's actually been in the Senate. But he's been a fairly good senator, and I like the fact that he's talking about his work and how he doesn't see this as the end of his term and how he's going to serve in the future. So I'm glad that he's bringing that up and that he's making everything possible. I like how we're transitioning right into the COVID response. The United States definitely needs a good COVID response, and he's been enough. Needs a good COVID response, and the Senate has been the place where a lot of it has gone to die, basically. And it's primarily due to Majority Leader McConnell not willing to even really discuss a good COVID bill. And it's really hurting the American people a lot. And hopefully there's a plan in place from Majority Leader McConnell and Senate Democrats to come together to come up with a bill. I know there's a $900 billion down payment compromise bill that's been on the table. And hopefully that continues to move forward. Majority Leader McConnell so far hasn't even indicated if he would be willing to discuss it or bring it to a vote. So hopefully that moves forward in the coming days and months. Senator Udall, though, has been in office since 2009, so he hasn't really been in office that long. And he's been around for a while. So hopefully there's something else he does in the future and will help make him a valuable member serving society. So let's see what he has to say next.
That must change. On the Indian Affairs Committee, I have the privilege of working with tribes and Native communities from across.
It does kind of bother me that it's still called the Indian Affairs Committee. Most Native Americans don't appreciate being called Indians because they're not Indians. They're not from India. So I'm sorry about my earpiece. It keeps falling out, so I'm having a hard time. They're not from India, so they're not really wanting to be called Indians. So I know it takes a lot in the majority to change names of committees and whatnot, and the committee has been around for a really long time, but hopefully in the future we could change it to Native Americans or indigenous peoples or something like that, that more reflective of what would be right for those people.
Across the country on their very important priorities. They are on the front lines battling this pandemic. It has been worsened by historic underfunding from the federal government, which has led to devastating health disparities. Tribes and Native communities have weathered this crisis with strength and resilience, but the federal government must redouble its efforts to meet our trust and treaty obligations. I work closely.
That's basically been the story of America, right? Us not living up to our treaty agreements with the Native American peoples. But yes, Native American tribes have been hit hard with COVID, and they don't have a lot of resources to really help in that area. So hopefully that's part of the agreement that comes through the Senate and with President Trump.
With Senate Democrats to secure historic levels of funding for tribes in the CARES Act. But that funding will expire in just a few short weeks if we don't act. We must provide fresh resources to the Indian Health Service. We must support tribal governments' emergency COVID-19 relief efforts as the pandemic surges across the country.
Yeah, and he's right about that. A lot of the temporary measures that were put in place in the spring are going to expire basically right before Christmas. And that's not a good thing for anybody involved. So hopefully that's another reason why we need a redoubled effort to get a new relief bill put in place to help not only, in this case, he's heavily referring to Native Americans, but people all across the country need relief. It's really what's going to keep the economy afloat while we wait for the vaccine to be able to be widely distributed. So let's see where he goes next.
And we must fully support IHS vaccine distribution, management, and monitoring throughout Indian country. I'm encouraged that bipartisan work is happening and that the spirit of compromise is alive. With good faith negotiations, we can come to an agreement. But we need to do much more to make sure tribes and Native communities have the resources they need to beat COVID-19. Our shared trust and treaty obligations demand nothing less. Thank you so much. Cheers. Take care.
He said a lot there, and he's basically right. There's a lot to unpack, and they need to come together quickly to come up with at least a down payment on what the country needs. We may not get the full amount, the $2 trillion that Democrats really think need to go in there. What most economists think it needs to be a lot more even than the $2 trillion. But at least that $900 billion package would be a good starting place for that and really help the country move forward to be able to weather this storm a little bit better. There's a lot of people hurting. Unemployment's running out. The loan programs are running out to keep businesses open. So there's a lot of things that need to be changed. And hopefully in the future that can definitely be something that is worked on and made sure that it would be moving forward. So that's the end of this video. That was a really short one. It was only 3 minutes video, but it was important. There's a lot of good information in there. Hopefully you learned a little bit about what the senator was talking about and what his plans were. And hopefully I was able to add a little bit more detail and color around what he was talking about. If you did, please like this video below. Subscribe, definitely, so you can see it when the next video comes out. And please comment below. Let me know if there's anything you'd like me to cover in the future. I know I mentioned in a previous video I might cover conscious bias or unconscious bias. If you have a good video on that, please put it in the comments below, and I'll definitely look it up so we can definitely react to that as well. But until then, have a great day, and I'll see you around the internet. Bye.